Hello, I'm Kaylee Hutchins, editor of DCR Interview, and today I'm joined by Jeff Sapovich, Chief Technology Officer at RiT for this quickfire interview. Welcome, Jeff, and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Kaylee. It's really a pleasure being here. Thank you for hosting me here.
So let's get right down to it. XpedITe's AI provisioning module is the reason that RiT has been shortlisted for the ER and DCR Excellence Awards DCIM Solution of the Year. How would you describe its value to data center operators and owners? And how different is it from other DCIM software?
Right, that's a good one. So basically, RiT with its XpedITe software platform is quite different from the traditional DCIM solutions. We actually don't even like the traditional term DCIM, when we are developing a newer, more comprehensive approach for data center infrastructure management, which we call UIM, which stands for Universal and Intelligent Infrastructure Management, which is sort of an evolution of traditional DCIM. And XpedITe is our tool, our software platform, which is built based on this practice, based on these methodologies of the UIM. Now, as I mentioned, it's not in a way similar to other DCIM platforms in many ways. First of all, the traditional DCIM platforms, they rely a lot on manual planning, on manual work, on manual consideration, calculations, which is a good thing. But I believe today, in today's era with the innovative and the modern technologies, there is so much room for improvement. So XpedITe includes this AI-based, AI-powered provisioning module, which is built to automate the entire process of planning all the changes, all the installations, installs, additions of servers, of IT equipment in an automated and sophisticated way. So that not just removes the human error, which is very significant and very important, but it also can do that in a much more comprehensive way. One reason for that is that XpedITe AI provisioning module is integrating with Marius legacy and the third-party existing software systems, as well as hardware equipment, such as CMDB, such as BMS, such as EMS, such as ticketing systems. And it takes all the information from all these systems together to build a comprehensive model of the entire environment. And then based on that model, it makes the whole planning and optimization of resource use, and thus making all these changes in planning much more effective and efficient. Now, not only does it take into account the current state of the data center, it actually, in a way, looks into the future. We have machine learning-based model, which predicts the future state of the data center, and then this automated provisioning planning takes into account the future evolution of the data center infrastructure. And that makes the whole planning much more future resilient. In addition to that, one of the main capabilities of this provisioning module is its automated workflow functionality. So not only does it plan how the infrastructure should look like after this provisioning action, it also plans all the steps, all the activities to be done in between by the technicians in order to facilitate the management and actual execution of the provisioning workflow. In addition to that, the module is fully compliant with organizational policies and also with industry standards. So not only it makes the data center more resilient for downtimes, not only does it help in making the planning more efficient and much faster, actually, but it also aligns the look and feel and the whole structure of the infrastructure in the data center with how the data center wants their infrastructure to be built in terms of length of cable, in terms of compliance with the capacities of the resources being used, be it power, cooling, space, networking. And all of that is done automatically by this AI-powered provisioning module.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jeff. So how will this specific module improve data center operations in terms of minimizing downtime and helping support the operators and owners in meeting SLAs?
Yeah, right. In recent report by Uptime Institute, they pinpointed that one of the main reasons for downtimes in data centers is human error. we rely a lot, we rely so much on human planning, human work, human analysis, human comprehensive vision, which was the best we could do till recently. And as a result of that, many errors occur, and that causes a lot of problems such as downtimes and shortages in the data centers. So XpedITe provisioning AI module specifically targets this challenge by reducing the human error. It takes into account all sorts of considerations which a human being nearly cannot even possibly think of all at the same time. It's really a huge amount of topics to take into account. And thus it makes the whole process of installations, moves, adds, and changes, what is called the IMEC, much more human error resilient. In addition to that, it also improves the whole efficiency of the data center, be it efficiency of the work being executed. It actually saves about 95% of time on planning these provisioning steps. It reduces by the factor of 20. And in addition, it reduces the likelihood of overutilizing resources. And that is achieved by looking, as I mentioned, at all the comprehensive constraints within the data center infrastructure, be it power, cooling, be it space, be it ports, and it takes into account all the data from all the possible sources, be it the hardware equipment, be it all the other software systems which are already installed in place. And then taking them all into account, it actually adjusts the balancing of resource utilization. And by balancing the resource utilization, it not only reduces the utilization of power and energy, but also makes the data center more stable, more resilient. And it is also, as I mentioned, taking into account the predictive state of the future of the data center, and thus makes the operation more reliable. That way, naturally improving the SLA and reducing the unplanned downtime.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. So in your recent article entitled Unleashing the Power of AI in Data Centers, A Path to Sustainability, you noted that innovations like this will improve efficiency and reduce compliance risk for owners and operators. Can you sort of describe in further how XpedITe is improving operations and financial KPIs, as well as its potential impact on environmental goals?
Yeah. All right. So there are multiple of topics to take into account here.
Yeah.
One is that directly tackling just the inefficiency of just the manual planning. As I mentioned, XpedITe improves the time it takes to consider all the challenges, all the constraints, all the considerations to take into account by a factor of 95%. So that naturally improves the efficiency of just the manual work. In addition to that, it empowers people because it not only helps them to make the planning for them, it also highlights them all the possible hotspots and areas with high potential risk. And that not only by one single resource being utilized, but by combining all of them at the same time. So as a result of that, it makes the human much more effective and efficient in the work they do, being empowered by this module. In addition to that, the financial impact is also significantly leveraged by just making the energy utilization more efficient. So it brings additional cost saving and as a result, better CapEx and OpEx in utilizing better type of equipment thanks to this automated planning and automated provisioning. And it also saves on eventually on the daily power utilization. And additionally, one significant factor is just reducing the frequency and severity of the outages, the shortages, the downtime. Now, it's commonly known today that shortages cost fortunes to data centers. It's actually one of the main factors to their losses in terms of ROI and in terms of financial impact. So reducing such shortages and by frequency and also the severity is a major contribution to the financial consideration and ROI. In terms of the environmental impact, so that's very important, especially these days when we have these climate challenges and the net zero pact by the EU. So not just the large data centers are now obliged to comply with various legislations and regulations around sustainability management, sustainability reporting and optimization. They also have their own corporate agenda. At least I would say that that's an evolution. More and more data centers are realizing the importance of putting the sustainability on their agenda, on their strategic list of goals. So tools like XpedITe Provisioning AI module help them to not just track the sustainability, and that's also make the reporting much easier and more comprehensive and compliant with the industry standards and regulations, such as the EEDs, such as the CSRD reporting. But also it helps them specifically with making the sustainability better, not just by counting the KPI and the metrics, the key performance indicators and the metrics, but actually by improving the power utilization, and as a result of that also the carbon footprint. Actually, not only within the realm of power, that goes also for the water utilization and even with the IT equipment utilization. So all the KPIs such as ITU could be improved as well, together with the standard considerations for sustainability, such as the PUE, which was like the main KPI till now.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. So looking to the future, what other AI-powered modules are you looking to introduce and why? In particular, reference to sustainability, which, as you just mentioned, is becoming an increasingly important issue for the industry.
Yeah, so we have quite comprehensive roadmap driven by the UIM, the Universal Intelligent Infrastructure Management practice. By the way, that's a practice we are not developing just by ourselves. We have a quite comprehensive forum of industry experts, including the data center operators, including the integrators, consultants, and the end users. So together with them, we are developing this concept, the principles of the UIM, and the roadmap for AI development is actually deriving from this long-term vision, long-term goals, and a roadmap of the UIM. So among these, I could mention some of these. One of such modules is data validation AI. One of the challenges today in relying on any sort of data in data centers is how accurate the data is. And it appears that usually the data is not so accurate. And by saying that, there are multiple reasons or multiple perspectives of data not being accurate, starting from conflicting data coming from different data sources. So you need to identify which data is the correct one and identify these discrepancies. In many cases, data is just missing. There are gaps, be it in the type of data, or even some of the metrics are just gone missing. Or even the data is not measured within the proper boundaries defined by the industry standards. The granularity not always is compliant with the industry recommendations, the industry standards recommendations. So data validation AI is one of the modules we are about to introduce. Another one is a proactive reprovisioning. Proactive reprovisioning is a whole new approach of how data center infrastructure can, or we believe should be managed. Today, any change, any type of provisioning, any type of planning within the data center is driven by a reactive approach. Like we have this new request, so we need today to make that or another change, or there is an issue, a problem, a downtime or some other external factor which makes us to make any type of change. So it's all reactive. It's all a sort of response to whatever is going on outside. Now we believe that we've come to a new era when such management should become proactive. Mm-hmm. So not only with this new proactive reprovisioning module, not only will it be possible to plan the changes based on specific requirements and needs and as a response to a particular downtime or other challenges, but also the system will automatically, proactively look into the data center. It will analyze the level of operation, the SLA, the resilience. It will look at all the factors and the resource utilization. It will consider the temperatures. It will consider the speed of fans. It will consider performance even on the CPU level. And taking all of that into account, it will identify A, risks, B, inefficiencies. So that based on this, the system will be able to identify such future potential risks in advance and proactively come up with recommendations to make specific changes in advance before these risks realize in actual problems. So proactive reprovisioning will be coming up with suggestions and recommendations to make specific usually minor changes within the equipment. And these changes will not only prevent potential risks, but they will optimize the whole efficiency and the operation of the data center infrastructure. So these are two of the models among some others we are about to introduce to the market in the future.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jeff. Now, just one final question before I let you off the hook. So looking to the future, what do you think are going to be the main challenges facing the data center industry?
So one of the main challenges, yeah, it is. one of the main challenges naturally, which all of us are familiar with, is bridging the silos. It's like a common challenge in a data center, which have been spoken about a lot. And we can see still, even till these days, that, for example, the facility and the IT teams are usually operating completely apart, separately from each other. So the whole optimization, consideration, planning of one of these teams is not actually aligned with the challenges and needs and constraints and considerations of the other. So bridging between the silos is definitely one of the challenges, and we believe it should be addressed on all possible levels, starting from the strategic planning of the organization and the management, then taking that down to technology, and actual cooperation between the teams. Yep. Another challenge we see a lot, especially these days, when sustainability has become one of the main topics being considered and addressed. We see that some organizations are focusing on ticking the box. Yep. Like, we need to be compliant with that or other sustainability reporting regulations, such as the EED, which is definitely very important because that will create a whole new level of transparency and awareness in the industry. But we believe that this is not enough. If we really want to go to address the sustainability as a whole and to dedicate to the net zero goal, corporates have to go beyond the just ticking the box and just reporting on this minimal set of sustainability reporting required by the EED and the CSRD in Europe and some other standards in the United States. And they should define the organizational strategy and address that as a business project with measurable ROI. They should also leverage the innovative tools. I actually cannot stress enough the importance of leveraging modern technologies. We see that today, still on the market, many tools live like in the old era. And many of the technologies and tools are still focusing just on the monitoring and reporting, which is, of course, important very much. However, not sufficient. Today, technologies have to offer so much more. So I believe that data center operators should start looking into the future of the data center infrastructure management and consider how they want to see their data center in the next years.
Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your insight with us, Jeff.
Thank you, Katie. It was really a pleasure.
Well, it was really interesting. And to our viewers, thanks again for joining us. Until next time, goodbye.